Namaskara, Sharana Sharanasti. Respectfully bow down to all the dignitaries, not to mention each and every one of them because of the time constraint we have. And also bow down to my parents who are here with me. Before any God, I worship them. I'm here today because who I am is because of them. Mr. Nagarajappa and Mrs. Nagamani are my parents. I'm a combination of a hybrid between Mysuru and Mandya. My mom's from Mysuru, my dad's from Mandya. He was the sugar factory chairman, also Pandupura sugar factory chairman at once. He held a cabinet minister post. He's here with me. I brought him here personally among all his busy schedule because they are the people whom I worship. And I've learned a lot from them. I think silently as kids, we start picking up a lot of habits from our parents. We're all parents here, and one day you are going to become the future parents as well, some of you. Every single path you take, every single word you say, every single habit of yours is going to carve your future generation. December 6, 2018. I would like to speak about it just with starting of one of our very beautiful vachanas of Basavana. Kallu Devaru Devaralla, Mannu Devaru Devaralla, Marada Devaru Devaralla, Pancha Lohada Devaru Devaralla, Setu Banda Rameshwara Gokarna Kedara, Modalada Devaru Devaralla, Tanna Tanaritu Tanarendu Tilidode, Tane Deva Noda, Apramana Kudala Sangama Deva. I think this is where the entrepreneur begins his life or a journey. Believe in themselves. Believe in thyself, they say. My father just said, say these couple of words. This is how the life begins of an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur build nations. Innovators just innovate and give it to you. Entrepreneurs are the one who give jobs, who build the economy, who bring the economy, and who also export, like Dr. Pai. And on December 6, 2018, I was just home at 6 o'clock. I got a call from Siddhagangamat saying, team from Chennai is arriving at the airport. You need to come in the convoy to Siddhagangamat in Tumkur. I'm a neuromedical specialist. I came to India as a doctor, become an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, much more than that. On the day I got called, it was a pretty overwhelming call because you're called there to assess the working God. And when we entered the Siddhaganga Mutt, it was full of the district administration, MPs, MLAs, ministers, trustees, you name them, they were there. And of course, thronged by the media. Even before I entered the Mutt, the media knew I'm coming and they just started calling out my name. Please tell us, what do you think? When we assessed Swamiji to be transferred to Chennai for further treatment, the gastroenterologist team said, yes, we should go ahead with the surgery. He's suffering, he's in a lot of pain. At that second, the decision was made at 10:30 in the night. The entire focus turned to me. It was intense because they asked me, do you think Swamiji is fit to be flown to Chennai? We have flown people like, babies of 400 gram who are 26-week-old to people who are like very old. Swamiji, of course, was the oldest. And we are trained to do this in the UK. I'm trained as an anesthetist and critical care specialist and aeromedical specialist from the UK. For us, it's a part of our job. When they ask your opinion, you give your opinion from your training, from your expertise and experience. But that day when they asked my opinion, I said, can you give an opinion on a God? I don't know. His age might be 111, but I don't know what he's spiritually capable of. Honestly, I can't give any kind of a thought about what I should do, what I should not do. You please guide us. They said it was, by the time the decision was made, it was 11 o'clock night. They said, yes, we need to go tomorrow. I said, right. The aircraft was our air ambulance was in Delhi. Within 10 hours, mobilized this aircraft, placed in Bangalore, created a green corridor, got in touch with the intensivists there, mobilized a team from here, got the medical equipments on board. Within 80 minutes, from Tumkur Siddhganga Mutt to Chennai Rela Hospital, we transferred him. It was kind of a record time we transferred. Of course, we had a lot of support from the state administration. When Swamiji got into the aircraft, we were worried. I mean, it had never flown before. It was like flying the walking God. You will never ever imagine the pressure I had from the entire world, I would say. And the worst pressure was from the children who were lined up in the mud, crying their eyes out, putting me under pressure that I have to bring him back safely. I think I could have handled anything except for those tears of those little children who wanted Swamiji back safe. And of course, I have brought up worshipping him in our house many times. He's come for all our pujas. And my dad said, like, Jopana Karkan Barappa. And on my small shoulders, flying this God was not any ordinary job. But as I mentioned in this Vachana, it was a belief in myself and the strength my parents had given me since I was a kid, which let me do this job, complete this mission, not only just flying him, bringing back very safely. There's a huge risk of him declining to fly or in the middle of the flight saying, I don't want to go any further. We created the inside of the aircraft like a mata, put Kavi everywhere, put his closest aid right in front of his eyes. Every second he said this. He used to ask, we wanted to know how long are we going to fly for. So this guy used to look at me, I used to stand behind and say 20. So he used to say 20 minutes. Swamiji used to ask, Inesh Maili. I used to say like this, 10 minutes. So 10 Maili, 10 minutes. So thus we converted him, we took him there and he walked into the ward which was nearly half a kilometer. That was the power of the Swamiji. Today what I would like to say is, I had 3 institutions or companies or organizations today. One is ICAT Air Ambulance Services Private Limited, which has done the highest number of COVID airlifts in India, longest aeromedical transfer of India, highest number of ECMO airlifts in the world. That is like, the record so far was 10 in 65 in 10 years. We have done 136 in 6 months. We did the first COVID airlift of India. We did the highest number of organ airlift in India. All this we have achieved in just a span of 4 years after I come back from UP. Pioneered our own training program because there's nothing called flying doctors in India. We created a year program, chose the best of best emergency medical doctors across India. We nurtured them, we trained them, got the specialists from the UK to train them, faculty, and today we have rolled out the first batch of aeromedical commandos who are going to save lives from Indian roads, that is from national highways or state highways, free of cost in the future, where we have death every 4 minutes. And not only that, I'm also the chairperson for the ICAT Foundation. ICAT Foundation became a third front during COVID crisis. We did the donations of nearly 4 crores of N95 and PPEs. Until now, we enabled 33 crore for donation. We have adopted 10 ICUs across Karnataka, giving them tele-ICU support, war room, training, equipments, increasing their bed capacity, and also the simulation lab, which is nearly worth 3 crores, been set up in Madhya. Not only that, we created a world record in training 30,000 people, 30,000 students on one single day in Chitradurga district as a part of Sharana Samskriti Utsava. All these things happen not just because I'm an entrepreneur. I think not just from my brain, I also think from my heart. The compassion is what makes a woman special, and I think Dr. Pai summarized this so well. Women multitask, and that's how they achieve so much. But I would say, or always complain about one thing: women try to achieve this unscientific science of perfection in whatever they do. They would like to be a perfect mom, perfect entrepreneur, or perfect boss, perfect teacher, perfect children, perfect cook, perfect daughter-in-law, perfect daughter, perfect sister-in-law. Every single thing they like to perfect. This is where I think they would normally go wrong, because it's not easy to become perfect in everything. Just take up what you're passionate about, be a good human, and pursue your dream. Perseverance, hard work will never ever fail you. And as a next project of ours, as I mentioned, National Highway Authorities of India, we are working very close to start this service called HEMS, that is Helicopter Emergency Medical Services, for the entire India, where we will be responding to trauma calls, having a centralized command center for India, and we will be mobilizing the helicopter in matter of 2 to 3 minutes when there is an accident. And there is this very strict mis-scoring system, the triage system, very scientific way of doing it without being biased by money. There is no insurance here. It is totally done purely based on clinical triaging. And I'm so glad I'm going to be part of this creation or revolutionizing the Indian healthcare and the Indian skies, where these 20 to 40-year-olds who are traveling on Indian roads wouldn't have to die because there was a lack of healthcare, there was a lack of intervention, there was lack of speed, there was lack of skills. These guys, National Highway, if they spend 5,000 crore on infrastructure, they say it's nearly 25,000 crore is a loss, a GDP loss to the country because of the death of these youngsters. These youngsters are the providers for the future generation. They are the providers for their older generation. If there is a death, they say one death can destroy a world. That man or a woman is the world for that family, and that family's future to generations get destroyed when that feeding hand is dead on the road untimely just because of lack of facility. India has the highest number of deaths on Indian roads today, and there have been agreements like Brazilian agreement which Nitin Gadkari signed, saying that by 2020 they're going to bring down accidents, but 50%, they've only been able to do it by 0.5%. Again, they asked me to speak few words about women entrepreneurs. I'm swaying back and forward because every single time I'm talking, I'm always thinking like, as a woman, what am I doing? How did I come so far? Is it possible for every girl to achieve the dream? We draw a lot of circles around women. Today, if you look at the whole world, there's less than 4% women CEOs. There's less than 10% parliamentarians. The reason being, when their girl child is born, Indian parents, how we wish them. When they touch your feet, when they ask for your blessings, you bless them. Bega madhva aglama, shikha kalyana mastu, onde ganda siklama. This is exactly how the parents bless, and this has been the culture so far. But actually how my parents blessed. There's another reason why they are here today, why I wanted them to be here. From the day I remember my dad's blessed, be the best doctor in the world. Give back to society what you can. Be the best person. This is what my parents have blessed me and wished me. That is why we change the future. That's where you change the girl's life. That's where you make a woman to become successful entrepreneur, not just 4% of the CEOs across the world population, but create more than 50%, because we are 50% in this world. Women are 50%, we don't need to be under the 4% bracket. We're incredibly underrepresented. We have seen during the COVID how New Zealand was managed so beautifully because of a woman Prime Minister. So as Dr. Pai was mentioning, women bring a lot of skill onto the boardroom because of the empathy they have, because of the skills they have like multitasking, because they can give a holistic approach. If you look at today's world, like I heard about it's a small story here which I would like to conclude my talk. There was a child who dies in an accident. Sorry, a child survives and the dad dies in an accident. The child is brought to the hospital, and the surgeon who has to operate on the child says, I can't operate on this child because this child belongs to me. This is my child. What are you all imagining? Why is that person refused to operate on the child, saying that I'm the parent? What do you imagine? Who is this person could be?
Mother?
The surgeon. Yes. I think 80% of the audience would have thought maybe adopted child, because the surgeon figure in your head or the doctor figure in your head was a man. You never thought it could be a woman, except for like few of you here. This is where we start giving that inability to accept woman as a leader. A lot of women themselves don't accept women as another leader. So only women can empower women. I would say that is exactly how the world should be. Not to be expecting the feminism, a man to push women or a man to celebrate. What is this all about, Women's Day? Every single day is a Women's Day, because what a woman can do, a lady can do in the nature, like giving birth, no man can do. The special power we have. What we need is that platform, encouragement, change in our thought of thinking for our future generation of girls. Don't create a workforce, create world leaders. Thank you very much, and I take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Atish and also Mr. Kishore Achaya for this mPower talk, which is going to be the future.